Behind me, beautiful Atlantic City Beach, where the king of the high wire, Nik Wallenda, will take a little stroll from here at the Atlantic Club Casino Hotel down there to the Tropicana Hotel Casino over the beach. I had a chance to sit down with Nik. He shared some secrets. Here's my interview with the king of the high wire, Nik Wallenda. If you and I want to go to Canada, we cross the bridge, we go through customs. He walks across Niagara Falls. And you had to use your passport, didn't you?
I did. I had to go through customs just like anyone else. There's no special treatment for me. I just took a unique approach to getting there.
Nik Wallenda, he's the king of the high wire. You know what? There is nobody that does it like this. In fact, you're not going to believe this, but I have an ultrasound picture of before you were born. You were walking the umbilical cord. Did you know that?
That's right. To be honest, my mom was 6 months pregnant with me and still walking the wire.
And the family is in your show at the Tropicana as well.
They are, absolutely. There are several of them are here. My wife's here. My mother's part of the show. I have a cousin that's part of the show. So yeah, it's a family experience for sure.
But we're here today. We're at the Atlantic Club at the beach bar because, again, most people will take the boardwalk or take the beach, but you decided to walk from the Atlantic Club to the Tropicana over the beach about 100 feet up. Is that correct?
That is correct. It'll be over 100 feet. I think it's at 125 feet is where we set the cranes today, and they're about 1,300 feet across.
How long should it take you to do this?
You know, it's hard to tell. It really depends on the conditions outside, whether it be a little more windy, whether it's gusty winds, but I'm guessing between 20 and 30 minutes probably.
Now, as people can see, it's hot. It's very hot. Does this humidity and the heat play a part in your walk?
You know, of course, weather is an extremely important factor, but you know, it's something that I've trained for a long time. So it's not a huge concern, although I'll be sweating a little bit more than normal, possibly.
You're doing this without a net and without a harness. Why did you decide to do that?
Well, actually, I've never, other than the Niagara Falls walk, worn a harness. And I've never used a net before. The only reason why I used one in Niagara Falls is 2 weeks before the event, my network partner came up and said I had to wear one. But if it wasn't for that, and they were going to back out of the contract if I didn't, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been wearing one then either.
But here in Atlantic City, and people may say, well, you're walking across the falls, how hard can this be? But here in Atlantic City, you're walking maybe 3 or 4 blocks. There's crosswinds. You may have it okay when you're in front of a casino, but you're taking this into consideration.
Oh, absolutely. And even to speak to that, my great-grandfather did some of the most amazing walks that anybody had ever done. And the walk that took his life was only 100 feet high and about 200 feet across. So every walk is important. Every walk is the same. We treat them all with deep respect.
And, of course, your great-grandfather is the great Carl Wallenda.
That's correct.
We love having you here. You've been spending a lot of time here in Atlantic City, and we love you for it. We get a lot of attention worldwide because you decided, in fact, just recently, maybe a couple months ago, you decided to go from one side of the quarter at the Tropicana to the other. Of course, we would take the steps, and you walked across the quarter.
That's right. You know what? I love it here. I love the ambiance. I love the feeling. And, you know, I'll be here for the next 6 weeks till September 22nd with our show over at the Tropicana, the Nik Wallenda and the Wallenda Family Experience.
Real quick, what does that entail? Because you have everybody involved, and, of course, the finale is always your family. And explain that, because it doesn't matter where you see it, whether it's Ed Sullivan's show or here at the Tropicana, it's something that still amazes that you can do this. Explain what this is.
Well, we have a performance that involves all of my family. It also involves other performers from around the world. We have gauchos from Argentina, for example. We have an amazing hand balancer coming in from Cuba. But also, me and my family will be performing. At one point, me and my wife climb up to the very top of the Tropicana showroom where we're doing sway poles. We climb up these slender poles. I'll actually be able to touch the ceiling with my hands at that point. They sway back and forth, and then there's an amazing free fall at the end as a finale, and that's right out in the middle of the audience where the audience members can literally touch me. I'm that far away from them. And then also, to close the show, of course, is the Wallenda family Pyramid High Wire Act. Our family had been doing pyramids, came over to America actually in 1928. That's when we started doing pyramids in America at Madison Square Gardens, and have toured the world ever since, and we're bringing it here to Atlantic City.
Nik Wallenda with the family down at the Tropicana. Today we're here at the Atlantic Club out at the beautiful beach bar because he's getting ready to walk across the beach. Mark Berman for NJ.com.